Welcome everybody to another edition of Lawn Care Skull Sessions. I'm Ben from Scag Australia. I've got my co-host, the bearded lawnsman here, and we got a special guest today, National Sales Manager for Scag Australia. Rob, how are ya?
Good, mate. How you going, boys?
So, good, thanks. How does it feel to be in the sweatbox?
It's beautiful. I can't believe how prestigious it is. I feel like I'm at a high class.
Welcome. It can't be any worse than your hotel room, my friend.
Yeah,
We live a high life when we travel. You should know that.
So, quick little backstory. Rob Shearer is up here doing some business. You're going to visit some dealers and do some stuff like that. Quickly tell everyone about your hotel accommodation.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like something straight out of 1975. It's the bed's like a plank of wood, which is exciting for tonight. So these boys will be up quite late because I need to be quite smashed before I even get back there.
I'm not even joking. I sat on it and it is like a plank of wood. It's horrible.
And I'm a little bit scared to pull the sheets back, to be honest. It's we'll suss that out.
You don't travel with a blue light?
Nah, that'd be worse. I'd never stay anywhere. I'd sleep in my own car.
When you get into bed and you get scratched on the way in, then you know you're in trouble.
It's when you get scabs on your legs a couple of days later.
Oh, ouch.
You know, that's when you know you've been at a classy place.
Yeah.
The old bed bugs are sensational.
Now, this is already working its way up to be a fun episode.
Yeah.
So, just quickly before we get into things, BJ, how's your week been?
Yeah, good, mate. No flat tyres this week. We're good. We're going well.
Yeah.
That's a good start for me.
I'm pretty amazed, but I think you could be lying. I think maybe on the weekend you might have sent me something, or no?
Did I? I probably did, didn't I? Because I don't know. I think we shot those episodes before I popped that last tyre.
Not sure. So
Either way, I've had a fucking lot of flat tyres.
Have you been post them off on everyone else?
I don't know.
There's a lot being posted.
I've seen a few people, and now I get blamed for all of them.
As you
I know
should.
there's like a full mad trend going.
Yeah.
So
Hashtag, what is it? Plug kids out for BJ.
or just get a Ram truck and never fucking pop a tyre again.
Oh, mate. You're a fucking Ram truck.
So
God.
all right. So today, everyone, we're talking everything Scag. As mentioned, we've got the National Sales Manager here for Scag Australia, which is a division of International Mowers, correct?
Yep.
What other brands, quickly, does International Mowers handle?
In this segment, we only do the Skag, obviously. Mm-hmm. We're also the national importers for McConnell Reach mowers.
Yep, okay.
Hang off the back of trailers and all of that, which is a really strong market for us in Australia.
Sure.
Which goes well. And then we also distribute via a dealer network as well, Seppi Mulchers. So out of Italy, which is one of the preeminent brands in that mulcher for tractors, skid steers, excavators, tree eaters, whatever you need to get rid of, they can get rid of.
Okay, sure. Now, does the dealer networks don't cross over at all, do they?
Sometimes. We do have a few Skag dealers that are Seppi dealers as well in rural areas. Not many. It's only a couple, really. So they do cross over a bit. They probably used to cross over a lot more.
Okay.
Back in the olden days, before my time. So it's it's not probably the right spot for Skag to be playing, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. Now, just so that the listeners can get a little bit of understanding, like what is your work background, say, before you've got and started handling the Skag brand?
So I'm a bit of a newbie to this industry. So just over just over 6 years ago, I took on this role. Probably didn't appreciate or understand how big a role it was going to be at the time. In that, so my background's earth moving. So at the big end of town with JCB, I used to run Kanga loaders nationally. So I was quite happy to step out of that corporate world, to be honest. It's not all it's cracked up to be. So, and it's been 6 awesome years, to be honest. So to see a product grow from where it was 6 years ago to now, it's pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
Awesome. Oh, well, who is Rob Shearer then? I mean, if you've had all these corporate jobs.
I'm just a bogan from Preston, man.
I'm rocking up today. Got your slides on. I was like, yes.
Sure. Yeah, I was going to say, you dressed for the occasion. I saw you coming up with the shorts and the slides, and I was
I really thought with you two there'd be a nudie run or something.
Yeah.
That's might be later.
Not in my room.
That's skull session. Skull session up late. Fuck. I don't want to get lice, so I'll keep my pants on in your room.
I've got too many kids running around in my yard that aren't mine.
Absolutely. I'm just a normal bloke like everyone else. Grew up in Preston, which is a nice, old-fashioned, pretty rough suburb of Melbourne, and I just have as much fun as I can, man. We work hard. And we need to play hard. So I do a lot of water skiing and wakeboarding. Got back into surfing recently, which has been fun. With the old longboard, it's much easier surfing behind the boat than getting through them waves as you get older. So for me, it's just about that and a bit of sport. My Mighty Bombers are terrible again. One game in, they're cooked. So I'm devastated this week. I'm
Broncos
down. I'm
are
deflated.
picked up. And guess who is on top of the ladder still for the LMCA NRL tipping comp?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Fucking wouldn't have a clue, but it's me.
I gotta be honest, I have not even I mean, I know about it, but I have not even looked at it once.
I got people fucking message me, I'm coming for you. I'm like, this is serious. Little do they know that I'm throwing my tips on probably about 2 minutes before they close. I can go boom, 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 boom.
So for everyone that is a little bit confused or doesn't know what we're talking about right now, is it just an LMCA competition?
Yeah, just
Yep, so it's an LMCA footy tipping competition, and, it's a great bit of fun.
Yep.
So, if you need any hot tips, BJ's the man.
Yeah, I'll just smash them in and then I'll send them around.
You can send all your fake tips to everyone.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or just pick the Storm every week.
See, I don't follow league anymore.
Yeah, pick Storm every week. You're halfway there, so at least I'll follow one winner at the moment. So.
And you know what, Broncos as well. For some reason,
they're terrible, mate.
They've won 2 games in a row.
They beat
fucking everyone.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the show, everyone. So moving on from that, what does the Skag brand represent, and what is their history in the industry? Now we know that you have only been there, say for 6 years, but obviously, Skag, it's had a lot of longevity in this industry in terms of innovation, and their commercial space in the American market. Can you sort of add to that a little bit about what their history is?
If we talk about Dane Skag, and someone, I think it was Tom Benson, posted a bit of a history on the industry on LMCA a few months ago. Dane Skag was huge in this industry in its early days, and he's, from what I've learnt and been told, is that he wasn't good at inventing products, but he was really good at adapting and making them better. Was his philosophies, and so he started quite a few products and that over the years. And I think guys like that need to be respected for what they've done in the industry. So he started Skag back in the early 80s. And it was being made, so he was doing it, it was being made by Metalcraft and Mabel, and then a couple of years later Metalcraft actually bought the Skag business. So Metalcraft still owns Skag today, employ over 1,000 people, and they're still a family owned company as well. So it's astonishing to see the setup there at Skag. And just how it is still a family-run company. They haven't been fully corporatised, which is good. And a lot of corporate companies, the wrong decisions are made in the boardrooms by the wrong people.
Sure.
Which can happen. So they're a really good company from that. You can talk to anyone there. They all talk to you. They all have a bit of fun with you. And they've got a simple philosophy that they want to make a quality product. They're not making to a price, they're making to a standard. And as long as they've got that philosophy, we'll have a decent product to sell here in Australia.
Yeah. They before Skag was a brand, there was a brand before that. It was Great Dane, correct?
No, that was after Skag.
Oh, that was after Skag.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it was.
I better bloody.
He started.
I better bloody Google the internet and get me shit straight.
He was involved with Bobcat before Skag.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure off the top of my head.
I probably should have done some better research. I think later on, the Great Dane brand was sold to Arians
No, John Deere, wasn't it?
No, it was Arians, and I think later was dissolved. So for all of our American listeners that are listening to me say Arians, I think you guys call it just Arons for some reason. Don't know why.
Okay.
Don't know why they do that.
There's still plenty of Great Danes running around in Australia.
In Australia?
Absolutely.
Never seen one.
Yeah, and they're very similar
I've
to a
seen one.
Skag. Yeah, absolutely. Similar.
I've put a Catch Pro on one, on an old school Great Dane. Sit down model, not the stander. But never seen one in real life.
Yeah, I've seen one at the tip, I think.
Okay.
Or the dump, whatever you want to
What
call
colour
it.
is it?
I think it was like a yellowy colour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a test.
Yeah.
They-
Nice one. Yeah, I passed. So that's the American history. What about the Australian history?
So, Scag in Australia was originally bought in, and I don't know who it was by because no one can tell me, by a guy up this way somewhere between the Gold Coast and Brisbane, initially back in the mid-80s.
Yeah.
And then, I really don't know how it come about, and then International Mailers picked it up in 91. So it's 30 years now. It's 31 years that we've been doing it. We haven't done it well all the time, let's be honest. But I think at the moment we're pushing in the right direction with our philosophies and how we want to do business. So it's got a lot of longevity in Australia, and it's just going to continue in that direction, to be honest. So,
nice.
Not a lot of people can say they've been bringing in this one product for 30 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment in the market, not that we can touch too much on it, but there's buyouts and there's companies being dissolved, and there's a lot of movement, which ultimately the Australian market seems to suffer the most, because when there's shake-up in their original markets, all of these places they need to get their stock first and foremost.
Correct.
Now we do have a ton of stuff coming about stock and stock issues, which we'll talk about.
It just makes me do that.
Yeah, I know, and
Can you
look,
make that part quick? Players?
well, the reason why we wanted to touch on it, we won't go there just yet. We'll come back to it, but the reason why we do want to touch on it is because it's something that the listeners like. It's good for them to be, it's one thing for them to go to their dealer and say, okay, you can have a machine in 3 months or whatever the case may be, but it's another thing for the listeners to understand the real business behind the business, and it goes far beyond your dealership in Australia. So we'll get there. Before we do get there, like, how important has social media and LMCA and all of these platforms been for Scag Australia?
It's blown my mind, to be honest. Like my vintage of, early 40s or maybe early 50s.
I was going to say early 40s. What?
My vintage is pretty much just Facebook. I'm too old for Instagram and especially TikTok and all that stuff. So but the last 2.5 to 3 years, it's just, you can't put into words the work that now comes via social media.
Oh.
And it's not us, it's you guys. It's you guys who love a product that you got, no matter what brand it is, and you talk about it.
Yeah.
When social media is used for good and not evil, it's a really good tool. And it just opens up the world. The world's a much smaller place now because of social media. Not everyone can get to the GIE Expo over in the States, which is an awesome show, but at least you can still see these products and you can see them on YouTube or whichever media platform it is. You're getting a better understanding. You're not just believing the dodgy lawnmower salesman like me saying, I've got the best product, dude.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I think
And
it
a big
also,
thing.
it's good to actually show the products being used in our conditions. We see so much content coming from the US, but when we get enough machines here, people start posting online, and you just actually see these machines do work here, and it changes people's perceptions.
Absolutely. And you think, well, why would it work in America and not in Australia? Or if you look at the European market, which is mostly a
Who the fuck's ever done that?
market.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. So
Bollocks!
Yeah, it's crazy how they actually get preference, don't they?
yeah, absolutely.
They get preference over us.
Bigger market.
Yeah.
It is a much better. Like Australia, as a rule of thumb, is 2% of the world market.
Yeah.
So
okay.
for us to have any say, I don't understand why we have any say when we're 2% of the market, but your good manufacturers will still listen to you. And, you know, it's no different to the SFC 30, which will be released later in the year. Initially, it wasn't suiting our market because of a couple of things to meet American safety standards. That's now changed, but we've made them changes to the Australian models, and it's been, how long have you had yours for? 8 months?
At least, yeah, I think.
Yep. And other guys around the place, and we've really tested it extensively to make sure it's right for our market, because we don't need the hiccups. The turf storm, which we haven't released officially here in Australia yet.
Is this a product drop?
No, not at all. It's been in the US for 2 years.
No, I'm talking about the Aussie market.
Yeah, well, we've got one in the country and it's already been sold. With that, one of our most biggest pain in the ass dealers, no, I shouldn't say that. Scotty from Ulladulla sold it.
All right, that's a stitch
sold
up.
it. So it's to a big place called Willinga. It's a huge equestrian centre down on the south coast.
Oh yeah.
Which we'll install it in a couple of weeks when we do the show up there. That was cancelled recently. And again, like with new products, it's so dangerous to bring them in straight away.
Yeah. I mean, I think one thing that social media has done for, you know, the whole industry is it's allowed Australia to catch up to the American market. So instead of being 5 or 10 years behind, like we were for so many years.
The standard market, wow, so far behind.
Yeah, and, you know, so we were really surprised to learn that, you know, they've been using standards in America for like 20 years.
Yeah.
But the social media side of things, you know, something drops over there and, you know, it's already in the mix or behind the scenes here. So
it's funny, over there they seem to drop something and you've got so many fanboys. They have like so many more people that people just buy it because they can.
Well, I've noticed a couple of things, and I noticed it goes a couple of different ways. So the SFC 30, there was a lot of skepticism around maybe not diehard Skag fans, or say customers, but they kind of have it in their mind that let's never buy version 1 of anything. And it can be smart. It depends what it is. It depends how much market research there was. But where I think Australia is starting to, you know, really see the benefits of some of this is, like, theoretically, you had a test model here, really, right when they were being launched. You know, so it's pretty cool that, you know, like, let's say you were able to leak footage and everything before that. You know, who knows what that might have done for the actual brand, because... but, you know, some things have to stay under wraps until everyone actually knows. I do think it's funny how they've got safety features on a mower, right? But they can go and shoot someone later if they want to.
They all carry guns. So it does open your eyes up. And
and if there is any American listeners on here, look, I am only messing, but if you feel the need to send any hate mail, don't forget to send that at TBL Property Maintenance.
I'm the one who doesn't give a fuck. So send it to me and I'll send you a signed
I've already got too many slap dicks coming at me. So, okay, so you mentioned the stand-ons. You know, did the popularity of stand-ons in this market, like, did that surprise you? Because obviously, like, Skag's had stand-ons for a long time. They released one right they're at the forefront. And we didn't get to see this for a long time.
No, so when I come on board 6 odd years ago, we had a few 48s and 52s and 36s in stock. It was obviously pre the 32. And they'd been in our stock for 3 years.
Wow.
So I cleared them. I discounted them, cleared them out, got rid of them, and just stocked the 36 inch.
Yep.
And it was really that way. Even when it changed to the V-Ride 2, it was still just the 36 inch that we were selling in Australia, and not a lot of them. Very few of them. The 32 has just revolutionised the mowing game. Okay, 100%. It is just opened them up to a whole new market. they're just a game changer. And that's not from me, that's from contractors. I get 4 to 5 messages a week of video, and not just from BJ, and not just nudes from BJ. It's just of, guys, spotto to Skag. So it's somewhere in the field, you can't even see it, and then they've knocked it down off this little 32.
Yeah.
And it's like the 32s, we haven't had one available in our warehouse for 2 years now.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how many we bring in, they're sold.
I guess we won't bother answering, sort of reading out the next question, right?
We were saying before we started, we were like, now, these questions that we have set out, normally, when we ask one, it'll lead to another, and it'll lead to another, and then we fucking run out of content somewhere along here. But, how has the 32V ride changed mowing in Australia?
Wow.
Was the next question.
Now, we know you've already answered half the question.
When the 32 was released at the GIE Expo, must be 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, probably
3
about
or 4 years ago. I don't know if it was when we took our dealers over or the year after. It might have been a year after, I think, which would make it 3 years ago. And the Skag guys were all pumped and excited. And I said, it's a standard, mate. Who cares? It's not our market. And that was our attitude. So I bought in 2.
Yeah.
That was it. And they sat in our warehouse for a month or 2. And then we started getting a bit of inquiry. And I really think the main reason, social media's got standards going in Australia, and he's the one that's driven it.
Yeah.
100%.
I was about to say, now, for all the people that aren't just viewing, can you actually say that without pointing? So that people know what you're talking about?
Cuddle as well. It's, Ben is close to 100% the reason Standers is. His passion for Standers made me stand up and take notice. And me have had some grouse fights over the last few years.
We had a couple of... we've talked about them, and it's good that...
Absolutely.
I'm like the good son.
Yeah, absolutely. Ben's that little shit that you don't know. You always got to look watching him out of the corner of your eye. But in all honesty, you're the reason why Standers have come to prominence. And I think your passion for them, and then the 32 being released, and you're a bit sceptical of a Skag 32 initially because of the quality of it. You thought it was over-spec'd for the Australian market.
Yeah. So a little bit of I don't know if you even remember this story, but just for our listeners, I remember when the 32s were coming out. And, I think, we'd gotten over our speed bump and we were starting to talk. And you said, Benny, I've got 2 here and I've had them for a couple months. And I was just like, because there was no brands really doing it yet. No. We had, Gravely was here with the 36. They were not doing the 32 yet. No. The grandstand had gone away. I think there was like a lawsuit or something. Yeah. And they weren't back yet. You had Bobcat. And I think that might have been it. There was nothing else. So it was
But they
Skag.
didn't have a 32.
No, of course not. They still don't. But I remember saying, why on earth, let me leak something, let me, whatever. And your reply was, look, we don't have mulch kits for these things yet. Now, me being selfish or at least, or at least taking advantage, I just saw money with the Catch Pro.
Yeah.
You get these things. It made all the sense in the world to me. And, I'm not saying that, I was the reason why the 32 is so, because it is about the people event. You might need to get it in front of them a little bit. And once they get it and have good results with it, it speaks for themselves.
That's
it's just the same with the Catch Pro. You couldn't fucking give one away when it first came out. But when people start, when customers, legitimate customers, start showcasing it, hey, look at what I got and look at what I can do with it, that's when it's like, bang, you're off to the races.
I think the Catch Pro really took off when I did that fireplace mem.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was supposed to repost that at Christmas, but I didn't want to vomit.
We've done the Jim's conference on Saturday down in Melbourne, and it was a bit different this year, but I remember the first one we'd done 4 years ago, and we were just sitting in the corner and people just sort of looking, what's a Skag? What are you standing on? What for? Type thing. And to be Saturday where I don't know how many guys come up to me and said, yep, I got a 32. It's changed my life. I do 5 extra lawns a day. It's $80 a week. I love it. It's the best thing that's ever happened to my business. And so many guys just say that now. And it doesn't matter. If you can't afford a Skag, if you're buying one of the other brands, as long as it's fit for your business, that's fine. But look at what it can do for your business. It's not as much about that initial purchase price. It's about what it's going to cost you and your cost of ownership and all of that sort of stuff is where your true income is going to be told. So as long as it's fit for you, all machines are decent machines. Depends on what you're trying to do with them machines. So, but then 32s, like a couple of guys have sold them because they've said they're a little bit heavy. So be it. Like if it's been raining and it's a bit soggy, like you can't have the heavy duty, heavy commercial mower and have a light mower at the same time. It's not going to work. So yes, they are heavy and they're narrow tyres for a reason. A guy I was talking to on Saturday, Michael, who's a gyms guy down in Melbourne, he managed to fit a set of 12s to his, and he said it's a lot better with them on it. So we need to, this year at the GIE, I think we'll be really hunting down the 12s and having a decent look.
12s on the 32.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
12s on the 32. That's gangster.
Yeah, no, that is. I mean, I've been wanting to get a pair of twills for my rigs for a long time.
You make enough money now too.
Oh, come on, mate. Come on here, brother.
Got him.
Not enough to buy a house, apparently.
Well, it's just where your standards are.
Hey?
It's your standards are obviously a bit high.
I mean, look, my next question was going to be what is it that sets Skag apart from other competitors? Now, we don't need to take anyone through the shit. You were on your way to answering that. So, we know that Skag doesn't have a entry level, residential type. I think we're calling it now. Like, would you call the Liberty?
So Liberty for us, that is our residential mower light commercial.
But are we calling that? Are you guys calling that prosumer yet, or are you not using the prosumer tag yet?
I don't feel I'm a big enough.
Okay. We're using this prosumer, which is sort of
like. Who come
like
up with that word?
Oh, probably me.
So it'll be some American.
Nah, it would be in the. I believe. The American market. There's a lot of people out there, and also due to COVID, who. Where are you going?
I'm going to get a beer.
Thank God, I'm looking at my empty one saying I'm dying in the seat, man.
So I'll just continue with the show while my co-host is not here.
I've got the biggest tits, so I'm going to be the bar.
This prosumer is kind of like anywhere from your weekend warrior to your, part-time guy, and in our market, I think it's kind of like if you can't buy a full commercial machine, you can buy a light commercial machine, and that is your prosumer market, which is what I would put the Liberty in.
It is like our Liberties. I think the 36 is where it is with contractors. It's under that $10,000 mark. Right around Australia, but again, I spoke to a guy on Saturday who's got 1,800 hours on his. Like for our entry level type mower, but even our little Liberties, they still have Kevlar belts and split steel pulleys, charge pumps in the hydros, all that technical jargon, but makes it a decent mower. So it doesn't matter with Skag if it's entry level or our Turf Tiger, it's got the same products in it, same components.
The same heavy duty deck, right?
No. So your Liberty, Freedom, and Patriot has a Hero deck.
Yep.
And then which are all blackout models now, so it's easy to tell the difference. And that blackout model, which come out about 3 years, it looks awesome.
I missed out.
Yep, the Patriot and the blackout model, they look really good. So anything with a Hero deck is the blackout model, and then anything with a Velocity deck, which is your Tiger Cat, Cheetah, or Turf Tiger. It's traditional Skag Orange. Skag Orange. I'm going to get slapped for that. And again, like the Liberty, we've got lots and lots of contractors with Liberties and Freedoms.
I've seen them putting them through the shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jared Summers got one.
Yep.
Andrew French has got one.
Yep.
Fuck, there's mountains of people, and they put them through some shit that I haven't even some of my machines through.
I mean, if it wasn't for the 32V ride, there would be a heck of a lot more 36.
Yeah, absolutely, there would.
Oh.
And I was talking to a contractor in Brisbane a couple of weeks ago. He's got a Patriot 52. It's got 960 hours on it. It's 18 months old, and it's still got the original belts on it.
Geez, that's a big effort.
Which
960.
I think is very gentle on the mower, to be honest. He obviously doesn't push it real hard, but it's still a lot of hours on original belts. And they're the things we like to hear. Like when we do field days with our dealers and someone comes on the stand and they've got a Skag, first thing I ask him is how old it is and how many belts have you gone through.
Yeah.
And it's very rare that they've gone through belts, which is a nightmare. We all know, all you contractors, how angry do you get when you do a belt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're also...
Of everything.
Yeah.
It is a pain in the
There's
ass.
also a lot of things to consider as well. Like if someone's doing belts, you know, I know that early on you had a situation where you had a little rock in one of your pulleys.
I had it
and-
jammed in the pulley. I called Will Hartford, and he's like, told me exactly what it was. He's like, yeah, that's a rock in your pulley. I was like, nah, I've been under there, man. And I just kept using it. I fucking busted. I fried the belt, of course I did, but not before I got a new one. Like, there was quick part turnaround, so...
And it's a tough industry. Like, you can't... at the end of the day, like, I know with all of these brands, because we see so many of them now, you know, they're all pieces of machinery that can and will fail eventually.
Yeah.
But it's the little things that do set some of these brands apart, and components and build quality is a part of it.
I got a text today off, and he probably sent it on purpose because he said you boys never mention him in the show anyway. So I got a text today off Dale from Urban Turf.
G'day, Dale. Give you a shout out to Urban
Dale,
Turf.
like, 2
Thank you
episodes
for
ago.
listening, brother.
Who is a well and truly Skag fanboy now.
He's a good Catch Pro customer too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dale.
I mentioned him a couple of episodes ago.
Maybe leave us a fucking review and
Yeah. Fair's fair, mate. Come on.
And one of his staff was on either the 52 or 61B ride today, hit a drain and snapped the blade clean in half.
Oh, the
Really?
blade.
Wow.
Clean in
Holy
half.
moly, that's gnarly.
And I said, well, you got spare blades, just put it on and keep going. He said, Rob, if this was my old mower that I used to use, I'd be up for a new deck, whole lot. He said, I can't believe that there's just no damage to it. He said, bang. And he was back working. He changed the blades, so 5 minutes later,
Yeah.
changed all 3 blades, which I was happy to hear, not just one. and off he went. So,
that's
you
good.
know, and that's the type of stuff that guys are texting me all the time or shooting me off through Messenger.
And you know what? I think that's what is really good, that you're available. You're available for the input as well as, you know, the good and the bad. It's
If I can get him messages on a Friday or Saturday night and Essendon's losing, don't expect a nice message. Okay?
Yeah.
Other than that, so if you need something off me, check to see if Essendon's playing and check to see if they're winning.
that's fair enough.
That's probably the most important thing.
Is that
But
why, yeah?
again, like, if someone's willing to buy one of our mowers, I feel we need to respond with
Yeah.
respect, no matter what it's about. You know, so it's just common decency. It's old school business, and it's hard. Like, if you're stuck in a field, you don't want to be waiting 2 days for an
No.
answer. It could be something simple. It could be more complicated.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned Dale before. I have to mention Michael Carroll and just say I'm so sorry for your day today, man. So he doesn't own a Skag.
Well, this week he will.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting picked up tomorrow, big fella, so get excited.
So,
Booyah.
so what's
big
happened to
turf
him
tyre.
today, my friend, is one of his employees shredded one of his wheels on one of his Toros and fucking flipped his Hustler
All
the
in one
space
day?
of 2 minutes.
Wow.
He sent me he goes, I don't know what to do. I was like, was he on meth? Like, he's like, I wish he was on meth. Like, at least there'd be a reason, but no.
Wow.
Sorry, man. Like, I know today
That's-
must have sucked.
That's bad luck.
10
mate.
bags of dicks. That's fucked.
That's crazy. Well, Narelle's dropping it off at Joe's on Thursday. Late
Oh.
Thursday, I'd say. So if you harass Joe, you could grab it on Friday. So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully
you
by
talking
the-
to me? Do you reckon I could get down there
no,
and get
I
it
told
before
you, you're going to wait. Michael's more important than you.
See that? That's just fucking my life.
So we've got a little sidebar question, mate. How good is the bloody Catch Pro?
What? Who's Catch Pro? I've heard the American ones made in Mexico are pretty cool.
Yeah.
So look, and be honest, like so Skag makes a little side catcher, and I was talking about it with Greg at Cabela Bar today, and I said sometimes it's not always about us just making money.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's about and I'm not blowing wind up your ass at all. But it's about supporting local businesses.
You filled him up before with the standard stuff. So.
And I say to all my dealers, just put a Catch Pro on it. Like, again, like catches on mowers, no blower, just, the headaches you can get with them is enormous.
Yeah.
So where the Catch Pro, it's only going to bear. It's not being thrown up into a chute without an impeller on it. Like we've got them with impellers and that as well. But on a Hero deck, or the Patriot does, but the other two don't. So a 36-inch, why would you hang a catcher out the side? You're losing your compactness.
Yeah.
So a Catch Pro you can have there, carry it through the grate, clip it on when you get there. They work well by the sounds of it, so let's support good Australian business. And
we're going to get everyone really drunk because every time we do a Catch Pro or a Skag plug, people need to drink it. So
okay, cheers.
The 32 with a Catch Pro, everybody that tells me like that they've got one is fucking loving it. The fact that you can stand and just get off, unload, get back on, sit down like you still have to boop, and get up. But the standers with the Catch Pro, the 32, still compact. I fucking love it. It's some of my big sites. I don't even take the 48 now. I use the 48s for acreage.
Now, I wanted to just tell everyone a little story, and I'm obviously not going to shout the name out because it doesn't need to be. But I had recently, we have sold, a lot of Catch Pros to Skags in the last couple of months. And this particular person bought one for his, I do believe it was a Liberty. Is the Liberty now running this Hero deck? Is that already happening or not yet?
Yeah, it always has. The Hero deck never used to have a name until, I think it was a GIE 2 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
It got named to a Hero deck, and it's about patriotism from the Americans and all that.
So this particular customer, I can't remember if it's a 36 or a different cut, but got a Catch Pro for it. And he, must have started using it. Now, we've had pretty bad weather everywhere in Australia. Like, wet weather everywhere in Australia. So...
No, not Melbourne, mate.
Well,
beautiful. It's 30 degrees every day.
Well, I'm not sure exactly where he is. But he sent me a text and he said, hey... which I appreciate, by the way, rather than someone just posting a photo and being like, oi, He sent me a text and he said, the Catch Pro just does not seem to be filling up. And... brand new machine, new blades, everything. So usually our normal protocol is like, how good are your blades and is the deck caked up? So we could really eliminate that. Then we were sort of having a look at the positioning of the catcher, making sure it's sitting at the right level. Anyway, this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and it was really doing my head in because, you have great results with it. I own my own Skag. We've just sold so many to the Skag brand, and this dude was super respectful. I was like, show me some grass, and I said, look, everything seems to be working all right, So he comes back to me and he said, look, I'll can I get a pair of Wolverine blades? I'm gonna have a crack at mulching. And it started making me feel really bad because I sold him a Catch Pro, which essentially he had decided he was not going to use anymore. So then he starts hitting me with mulch kits. And I said, look, we don't sell one, but you can, get one direct and things like that. So anyway, this dude's like, okay, cool, thanks for your help.
The dude in Townsville, I think.
I forget where he's located, but he's had a good old look-see under the deck to put his brand new mulch kit on. He's fucking already got one.
No, it's not the dude in Townsville. I'll speak up.
So he's just been mulching like the Catch Pro would be spotless.
No, so what? So what's
Yes.
So what's going on is
You got to name him now. Who was
no.
That's not us.
So essentially the grass is just going around in those baffles, and some of it is going into the catch pro, but it's really just falling.
Oh,
Just
so
from
he
the
didn't have
inside.
that.
And he's like-
he didn't have that last plate.
He didn't have the clothes
okay.
off, but he had all the baffles installed, and he's showing me these photos, and he's like, look, there's fuck all in it, and he's like showing me that it's not filling up. He's showing how it's just leaving like little bits on the grass, and I'm showing him other photos of these beautiful vacuumed passes, and it was really playing on me. But if you're not there, and a dealer didn't do the sale, so it's my responsibility. But mate, it was absolute crack. And
cool.
Anyway, he unbolted it all, and he said, "Ben, this Catch Pro is gonna change my business." So he's got 2 mulch kits.
How long was he trying to catch?
Good, probably 4 to 6 weeks.
Wow, that would have been
Good
so
4 to 6
frustrating.
weeks.
My hats off to him for persisting.
And he
hated the world.
never hit me up for a refund. He never dissed the product.
That's awesome.
I was trying to tell him the whole time, like, dude, and I offered to buy it back off him. I said, mate, it's not working for you. And I said, look, until I can really see it, because everything seemed to marry up. But yeah, I didn't know if he was maybe trying to mow grass a metre high or what was happening.
And whoever you are, if you've got a second mulch kit, just take it back to your dealer and they'll credit it. And if they say anything, just say Rob said.
Well, there you go. And if you don't have any luck there, put it on Facebook with an inflated price, and I'm sure someone's going to pick it up. How's stock going with those? They all right? Or?
Well, 36s have been okay. We got bucket loads in, so... But we've had so many 36s come into the country for a change. A lot of them are gone.
Yeah, okay. Did you have anything lined up?
Oh mate, I actually wanted to talk a little bit about the merch store.
Merch store? Well, it's all here. We've got it on.
Yeah, well, not this.
No,
this is all the way from the US of A.
Merch store has been one of my biggest headaches along with stock. So, for some reason, the Scag merch store in the US can't send to Australia.
It's
a pain in my ass, to be brutally honest. So we're slowly starting to build the Australian merch store. So we've got the sexy and I mow it t-shirts, which you've all seen, which we've got on now.
No, we don't.
No.
BJ has a special ambassador shirt.
Absolutely. Because he's special. Straw hats, all your Yeti drink bottles with the Skag stuff on them. There's a bit of new stuff coming out. We're doing some singlets for next season. We're doing some flannels. We're looking at a few different bits and pieces to slowly build it up. All your scale models are available on it. Your signs. Where's yours, Ben? Is it on?
Mate, I gave mine to my nephew.
Oh, did you?
So the Skag LED signs.
I gave mine to Lee Brand.
Yep. He was one of the first ones to buy a 32.
Yeah, so our mowers got delivered at the same time.
Yep.
And you gave me a little friendship pack, and it had a model in there. And I got 3 daughters, and he had a young son, so I just flipped it to him. So
cool.
He's actually got the first ever Catch Pro.
Oh, has he?
Which isn't his. He's got it.
Was that the one that I had? I had the prototype. I ran that prototype.
It's got Greenscape Solutions laser cut, but it wasn't even called a Catch Pro yet.
Yeah.
So Lee, if you got my original Catch Pro, give it back, eh?
No,
I'm only joking. I don't actually want it.
George, you've had it too long now.
Yeah.
So the merch store, we've got jackets hopefully coming for winter as well.
Oh man, I can't wait because
these are the bomb.
Yeah, flannies are so expensive. Like it's drug money. What flannies are worth? Like legit. It's off its head. So but again, with our merch store, we don't want to do cheap, nasty Chinese crap. That's why we're doing the Yeti products, because you guys are out there working hard. So with I don't know how many guys have got Yeti or understand the Yeti product. If you've got the drink bottle, if you put a couple of blocks of ice in the morning, 40-degree day, it's cold.
And you can put blocks of ice in it because you've got that it's got 3 lids. So you take one lid off, and you take the other lid off, and you got a big hole.
Yep.
You can throw a big chunk of ice in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
cold for like 8-9 hours or something like that.
Yep, the coffee tumblers, which my wife's had for years for her cups of tea. You'd think anyone married to me drink a lot of alcohol. She doesn't. She only drinks tea. So that's how good a bloke I am. I'm so easy to get along with. And she'll go, and she's a bookkeeper, and she'll go out to see clients, and she'll fill 2 of them up, and 5 hours later it's still hot enough to drink.
Yeah.
And the stubby holders, I've got one on the river, as you do.
And no, the Yeti ones, man.
The Yeti stubby holders,
yeah.
not these ones, the Yeti ones. I can go for a ski for an hour, come back, and my beer's still cold.
Yeah, that's what I found. Because I use it when I go and do all my servicing and shit, because I can have a beer, and when you're fiddling with stuff, you like lose track of time, and you go back and you're like, there's a fly in there, but it's sweet. It's still good.
It doesn't matter. It still tastes
Yeah.
good. So again, we're trying to have quality for you guys. We don't want the cheap, nasty crap. We want decent quality stuff. Yes, you pay for them. They're expensive, but they're expensive for us. Our merch store, I'll be completely honest, we don't make a cent on it. We just are doing it at our cost.
Yeah.
Just for you guys to, if you want to use it, you can. If
Is
you
it
don't,
because we
it's up
whinged
to
about
you.
it for so long? We're like,
Absolutely.
Now, so for everyone out there listening, BJ, quickly, where can they find this stuff?
that's it's just at Scag Australia, and there's a little drop box. You go down to the options, merch store in there. It's got all the goods. Everyone wants the signs.
They're on the water.
They're on the water.
Okay,
So
models
everyone-
have just arrived, so
Sweet.
models are back in stock. The signs are on the water.
When are they going to do a V-ride?
Yeah, they've done them. They've stuck with them too.
Yeah.
It was originally just a turf tiger, and I think at this stage they'll stick with.
Now,
them.
I don't know how much longer these are going to be on set, because my son is like obsessed with trucks and stuff. So
That's all right.
these
We'll
are,
fix him.
yeah,
up.
these are
It's all
going to end up going home.
well played, BJ.
My daughter actually, my daughter tried to tax one to put in her Barbie house for the Ken doll.
Someone's got to do the law.
So, no, quickly, I just wanted to plug it before we put a bow on this. With this merch store, all the listeners out there, send us through to either BJ or the Skull Sessions page, or leave a comment below. What sort of merch would you like to see? I know that in summer, especially in Queensland, we don't really wear a lot of clothes, right? So the singos are going to be great.
Yeah.
Now, we do know there's a couple of other cool things happening, like, say, the Cujo / Skag yard shoe or boot. That'll be pretty cool. Now, winter time is when we can finally put some clothes on. So a mad flanny or a cool jacket. Let us know what you guys want. And let us know also if you want to rep your brand out there while you're working, because
whichever brand, because it's huge.
I know I actually stopped wearing my own company. Like, we had Greenscapes uniforms for years, and eventually we just stopped. And I would wear either a Skag shirt or one of the other brands, and eventually now I'm not really out there mowing that much, but I like wearing that stuff and repping that stuff.
And if you're spending money on a product, you expect something like, as everyone knows, if you buy a Skag, you get a stubby holder and a hat, which is only a little thing, but it's something that everybody gets. If you want a stubby holder, if you've got an older mower and you've got the old black stubby holder, that's the new model. If you want one, just say something on here and I'll send you one. It's just about doing something. We've got plenty of stickers as well. So Skag stickers, a lot of you contractors have already got them on their trailers. Yeah. You want one, just say something, we'll send you one.
I've sent a few packs out. There's a few good guys.
Absolutely. So
after the bearded lawnsman stickers, and then everyone that's a bearded lawnsman fan is basically a Skag fan as well. Yeah. So
before we sign out, I got to laugh, because obviously you guys are a really big company, so sending stickers out and stuff like that, it's all incorporated in costs, and you guys can do that. But I got to laugh. Sometimes people are like, "Hey Benny, flick us a sticker pack or something," and they don't realise, like, on a small scale like Catch Pro, you're paying about $2 a sticker, $10 shipping, and it's funny, like, the way that I see it, like, I love it, but like, they just don't realise it's like it's them sending you a text saying, like, "Hey, can I have $15 for free?" You know what I mean?
My biggest annoyance being a distributor is dealers. You send them mowers, and the next day they ask for brochures. So it costs you $20 to send them the brochures, and you call them see you next Tuesday. it does my head in. And it's all the time. It's all of yous. It's not just a couple. It's all of them.
You should just hook Narelle up with a stack.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she could just hand them out every mower.
Narelle is one of the best things that we've ever done.
I love
She's
Narelle.
just
She's amazing.
Awesome girl.
And don't you reckon that's something cool and kind of exclusive to the Skag brand that, instead of having, there isn't warehouses in every single state. Now, you do have warehouse setups. I think you have a yard
So
in
we've
Brisbane.
got a huge distribution centre in Melbourne, and we
that's
were
where you're located.
Yeah, so that's where we were. We've had little yards and that around the place. It's just cheaper to bring product into Melbourne.
Oh yeah, no, but what I'm talking about is for those of you who haven't bought a Skag, waiting on stock and stuff. It's awesome seeing the Skag. Narelle pull up in the Skag truck. It's all decked out. I'm sure you've seen it. You can see it at BJ's Instagram, TBL.
TBL Property Maintenance.
Yeah.
On Insta, I've got tons of photos.
I mean, there's nothing better than buying a mower, right? But seeing that truck roll around the corner
it's just
and
something
getting it
else.
unloaded. We had the same experience with both of our Skags that we bought.
And she's an independent contractor. She lives in Brisbane. She starts in Brisbane on a Monday morning, does Sydney, Melbourne, gets to us on Wednesday, loads up with Skags, back up the highway to dealers, sometimes to contractors, depending where they purchase them from. And she works so hard.
And you know what? She's a bit of a brand ambassador as well.
Oh, absolutely.
She does a great job.
Well, she's been harassing me. She's got 5 acres, I don't know, near Logan somewhere, so she can fight as well. And she's been harassing us for a liberty for ages. I'm saying, I'm not giving you one until I got stock, dude. Like, other people come before you.
I'd be saying...
She yells at me.
I know, I'd be saying, yeah, you can have one. Just get a social media profile.
Yeah. But she's really good for our brand. She does. She works it hard. Like, people harass her at petrol stations, stops, everywhere. She's got brochures in the truck. Like,
I get
she's good
messages.
value.
I get messages saying, "Oh, I saw Narelle today in the Skag truck."
Yeah.
I get messages from dealers, like when the SFC 30 was coming up. Oh, I saw that fucking mower. You're lucky it was still on there when it got to you. I was like, hey!
Yeah, I get photos from contractors all the time just with Narelle driving down the road.
Yeah. Oh, mate. Some of the photos I requested to do on top of the truck, she said no.
The branding on that truck is amazing.
It really is.
And it just worked out because she needed new curtains.
Yep.
She mentioned to me, she said, I'm getting new curtains. I said, oh, okay. We can do that.
She loves it too. She loves delivering. Like, people get all giddy. Like, I was like, no, oh my God. And then the second one rocked up and I was just like a big kid. Family was out in the front. Fucking Benny was there.
I rocked up,
Were you there for the first one?
Yeah, I was there for the first. Can't remember, but because I experienced it myself, and then again at the village when we got the 32, and it was awesome because she actually took one of my mowers back down that I sold privately.
Yeah,
So
nice.
I'm not sure if we want to promote that.
Oh wait,
She does that. There's a mower shop in Brisbane
too.
she does a fair bit for.
Oh, okay.
And takes,
She's done the same thing for me
She'll
too.
pick them up from him or from other people around. He buys them second hand and things like
so
that.
if anyone is looking for if you've got your mower online that you're selling to another contractor or what have you, we got the hookup,
Yeah, reach out.
Now what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to sign out and we're coming back for part 2 on Sunday. So let's sign out, guys, and we'll see you on Sunday for part 2 of Skag Down Under.
Peace.
See ya.